Thursday, September 21st. And everything across the board, other than the dollar, is all gapped down. And on the dollar and the VIX, everything else is down. Bonds are down. Equity indexes are down. Crude oil is actually down. Gold with a big, massive drop. And let's go through it. Let's hit it. As I said, bonds just getting absolutely crushed overnight. Down over a point today. Where's the bottom in bonds? Nobody knows. We actually broke through what I, was looking for to be support. And there you have it. And what does that mean? That means I'm wrong, is what it means. I am dead wrong. I mean, not entirely. There is still a little chance that maybe it bounces and gets back in here. I don't know. I doubt it. That's the yearly chart. You got to go back 5 years to try and get any levels. I don't even think you're going to get anything even 5 years. Here you go, 2012. So we are at 2012 levels right before, basically right after, I should say, the Great Recession, which was really a depression, but no one wants to label it that because of, data, but the way they label things. So, really, really scary time in the bond market. And so we'll see. I don't know. There you have it. I don't even know what to say. I mean, I'm not going to just go and I already have some long positions. I'm not going to get any longer. I'm playing a long ball. I'm out in January of next year in most of my positions. And I'm in here pretty small. So, well, if you're looking for a bottom somewhere or something to, take a contrarian view on, it's definitely bonds right now. I mean, out of everything, bonds seems to be the one thing that I would be contrarian on, because eventually it's got to bounce. Good sign could be they didn't raise rates. They're saying they're going to be one more rate increase before the end of the year is what Powell said. I don't know. I think they're out of gas. Quite frankly, I think they raise rates again, and I think it completely wrecks the economy, and it completely brings everything to a halt. And if they do nothing, nothing's going to happen, which I think they're probably better off doing. But let's face it, they fucked up. So that's it in bonds. I don't really want to get into it. I'm not a bonds trader. But if you're looking for something to be contrarian in, bonds would probably be it. It's a big contract, so not a lot of people like to trade it. Invalid symbol. What the hell is that? What the hell happened there? Invalid symbol. Doesn't like the crude oil symbol? What the frick is that? Okay. Invalid symbol. Invalid symbol. Alrighty then. What the hell is going on? Look at this. What the frig is this? What is going on? Trading view. That's what it is. That's what's going on. Trading view. It's a crap. It's a crap. It's a crap. It's having a problem. Let's restart it. What if I swear to God, all these platforms suck. They all suck. Every one of them. They all stink. They all suck. They all absolutely suck. No matter what it is, if it's Thinkorswim, it's whatever. They all suck. This seems to be working now. Yeah, that alert came out already. All right. Yeah, that was weird. Crude oil. It's showing daily charts. What's the story with that? Everything's showing up as D. What's the story with that? Well, I don't know. I have no idea. I can't figure this platform out. That's why I don't trade on it because it's flaky as hell. I know a lot of people who do. I don't. Anyway, crude oil. I kind of like it down here at S3. So I'm actually going to go and I'm actually going to add an alert at S3. 87.78. $87.78. It's an S3, not an R3. I'll be all right. And today is the first day of fall. Somebody made a pretty funny joke. They probably don't call it autumn or autumn anymore. They probably call it aud her. I thought that was funny as hell. That came from a woman. So you figure that out. That shows you the state of the world we're in. The reason I like this S3 is it's, again, it's kind of at the bottom of this hole. You also have a high volume node right under it at 87.53. So my trigger point is going to be 87.76. And then I'm also going to put another one here at 87.57 for that high volume node. All right. Okay. So that's kind of where we sit. Now and what I did was I lightened the color on the alerts just so they don't show up. They're like very faint. So I don't have all these lines all over the place because, look, I look at it too and it's annoying. I don't want to see all that shit. I want to see two things. I want to show me where the high volume nodes are, show me what the delta is, and give me the pivot points. And give me the swings. That's it. High, low. That's it. I don't want all this shit. I can't stand when I see people's charts and they have 9 million fucking things on their charts. It drives me up a wall. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What are you looking at? If you need all that shit on your charts, then you should be doing something else. It's kind of like using a framing square as a hammer. It just don't work. I mean, it works, but it's not, after a while, you're going to ruin your framing square. So that's kind of it on crude oil for the downside as far as some buy-ins there. Quite possibly, it looks like we already went through it already on these touches here. There is a high volume node here. I also like this R1. And I'm going to mark that as well. And again, the reason there is you have a couple high volume nodes that correspond to that pivot point. And I have to say, yesterday was actually a good day. Made a few hundred, close to $300 yesterday. Funny, I did 4 trades. 3 of them were stop outs, and the 4th one was a winner. So, hey, look, I've been doing this a long time, and anybody who's telling you that they have, that's why I laugh when I see these people say, I got a 70% win rate. I just listen to that and I just roll my eyes because I'm like, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. There's nobody in this fucking business that's got a 77. The only people that got that high of a win rate are the people in Congress who know shit before it comes out. That's it. You know what I mean? Nobody's got a 70% win rate. If you could get near 50, if you even get near 50, you're gonna be fine doing this shit. I mean, if I were to calculate my win rate, I know it's under 50. It's between I know it's not well below 50. I know it's about 40. It's between about 42 and about 48%. The reason that differentiates me from everybody else is that, look, I'll take the losses. I don't care, but my losses are small. I lose small, I win big. And that's the difference. You know, it's not about percentage of win rate. I mean, so what? You have 30 trades and you made 3 ticks or 4 ticks. Oh yeah, big deal. But that one loser that you make gives everything back. Yeah, that don't work. That don't work out too good. So anywho, there you have it for R1. Probably not going to play around with R2 or R3 because if we get enough momentum and breakthrough R1 today, chances are crude will have a pretty massive day. All right. So there you have it for crude oil today. Let's take a look at natural gas. Actually had a bit of a pullback. We are still in this wedge. Do like, and look, I don't like to trade natural gas. I do like 25.93. That's a pretty big move, but I do like 25.93 as a possible buy point. If it will let me. I do like that on natural gas. Now, the problem with natural gas is it's a big effing contract. It is a big behemoth. It's tough. I'm not going to lie. It is tough. What I usually try to do with natural gas, and I really wish they would come out with a micro on it. I really do. I really wish they would come out with a micro. It would be really nice. It would be really, really nice. And this is on and this is a 9/21 at 2023. Yeah, I mean, so I can't really wish, and don't trade that micro, the Q, I think it's a QNG or something. They call it a micro. Don't trade that thing. Please don't trade that thing. That thing is the biggest piece of shit. I don't even know why they even let that thing trade. It literally is just a scam. I mean, I traded it for years. And when I'm telling you, I traded it for years. That thing is a scam. And it literally is the rookie widow maker for sure. So don't trade that thing. So anyway, I'm just marking that in natural gas as a potential. I may take a shot on it. And usually if I do with natural gas, it's usually one contract, right? I usually have a pretty tight stop, 8 ticks, maybe tops, and that's it. And it's one and done for me because I do not get involved with natural gas for the futures because they are a wrecking machine for me anyway. I've just gotten wrecked over the years. All right, so now let's get into the ES. I don't know if there's really going to be much here today. To be quite honest, there's not. I mean, I was looking in here. There's not a hell of a lot. You probably have to kind of circle in. As far as like pivots, I don't know if I would take S3 today as a trade. There's really nothing down there that's telling me that there may be a reversal. In fact, if anything, I think we get to maybe S3 and it possibly just like falls off a cliff. Is kind of where I'm kind of seeing it. I just don't like the fact that I see this huge band down here, just red. I just don't like that. I would like to see some patch of green in here to show that there were at least some buyers last time we were down there. I mean, at least at this time frame, just not showing that at all, which is, a reason I would not even look to take this today. To the upside as possible shorts. The pivot doesn't look bad today. Taking the pivot as a short, which is 44.70. we have a big range because of yesterday's movement. You know, you could see the difference between S3 is 44.01 and R3 is 45.30. You know, we have 100 points of range here. So chances of us retracing back to 44.66. I don't know. That's a pretty big move today for us to snap back the other way. Already being down 33. So I don't know. I don't even really want to mark it because it's kind of just a stab in the dark here, trying to look for, like, if I was looking at this at a different perspective or a different time frame, I probably wouldn't even be looking at that as a possible trade. So I don't know if there's going to be anything really that sets up for me today in the ES at all. It's just I don't have the vibe for it. I mean, I have to go back way, way too far. And if I'm going to pick a spot, it's going to be a ways down from here. It's probably going to be about 43.84. 43.84, and this is nothing more than, this is just a high volume node. And that's it. All right. And so that spot there looks really good. And you can see underneath there, literally you have this massive, 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 massive hole. Massive. That's a big one. That is a big one. We're gonna have to change this to like change like a yellow, whatever. But yeah, that's pretty interesting there. Massive. And they also have a gap over here as well. So that's kind of it on the ES. Don't really want to get into much of anything else. I'm going to throw gold up there. I really haven't been trading gold much at all because, in fact, it's been kind of suck. It's been suck for decades. It gets its moments. It has its moments a couple of months out of the year, and then it goes back into suck mode. And I think it's kind of suck mode again. I mean, you could see, look at this chop. I mean, if you've been able to trade this chop, you know, God bless you. And you've probably been killing it, you know, shorting the rips and buying the dips. But it's just been a chop house. Absolute chop house. And it seems stuck. So no, I just thought I'd throw it up there. No, I don't really have any trades in it. Nothing really looks interesting. It's just not an interesting product to me. Again, soybeans, I got nothing. I got nothing here. Possibly 1296. Possibly 1296. I'd have to actually look at this one on the, let me look at this one on the profile and see what that. $12.90 possibly. Yeah, $12.96. So I'm going to set an alert at $12.96. Okay, and then this was a right. All right, and so there, and then also here, which is a point of control from back earlier in the month. So I'm actually going to mark that as well. All right, so that's it to the downside as possible buy spots. And you can see way down there, I don't even know if we get there. I'm not going to even set alert there. This one, by all means, is definitely worth mark, which is 1264. Now, we get down to 1264 in soybeans, and we got some issues. I mean, it's really important that this thing stays up above these levels here, or else this is just going to fall off a cliff. And that's it as far as futures are concerned. And so now if we actually dial into and look at some stocks, I did do a FedEx. Big tech kind of took it on the chin pretty hard. Yesterday I talked about Amazon. I did do a little calendar spread in Amazon. I don't know if it's going to turn out to be very good, be honest. It doesn't feel very good. But as I said, I do think that it will gain some support. I think it has some pretty decent support down around the 128 level. So, I mean, that's kind of how I'm playing it. Why does this chart look like a mess? What is the deal with this? Why does this one look like a mess? Why does this look like a mess? I didn't know. Why does this look like a mess? Yeah, this one looks cleaner. There we go. Much cleaner. Look at that. Right? Like around 128 area. This is kind of a bottom in here. Again, I hate to even say that. But, we got this area here is where I'm kind of playing it for a bottom about 128, 126. So right in here, that's kind of what I'm looking for in Amazon, for it to kind of bounce here. And then, yeah, whatever. Whop, 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 whop. You get the story. I mean, who knows? But that's what I have going on there. As far as the other big techs, NVIDIA had a pretty, talked about getting short NVIDIA, maybe playing a little longer ball with that. That actually had a pretty decent sell-off. It is probably important that this does kind of hold up here, because here's where you had that big gap. And then it kind of got into this other range, this other trading range. And so it's really important for this to stay above these levels here. You're talking about almost $400, that it stays above 400. And if it doesn't, it's going to have some issues. It's going to have some issues. Now, I mean, whether or not it does or not, to me, I think it's still a massive short, because I think once it takes these levels out down here, it's going to be quick. I don't think it's going to be a very slow grind. I think it's going to be quick, and it's going to be ugly fast. But you had some pretty big movers in the NASDAQ yesterday that just, Netflix broke its magical trend line that I have there, which I can get rid of now because I don't need it anymore, because it doesn't matter, because it already broke it. Netflix, they all kind of look the same to me, like all of these. They all kind of have the same kind of look. Right? Amazing how they all kind of look like a crap. The only one that's actually looks somewhat, I don't know, is Meta is the only one that actually looks somewhat bullish still out of all of them. In this time frame, this 1 hour chart, right? This one out of all of them still looks relatively bullish, which is kind of surprising. I would think that, this would be the biggest piece of shit on the planet, but no, it's holding up pretty nicely. Tesla as well. I kind of expected this one, and this looks like this is kind of flagging here. Like possibly, I don't know, maybe this finds some support here and breaks out. It's not going to be able to do it on its own, right? It needs some catalyst from the rest of the market. And what I'm seeing here is if you, let's get a little wonky here. And if you did this, let's see if you did the retracement. Ugh. The magic lines. I mean, it does seem to be now. 50% is not a Fibonacci, so remember that. And when anybody says, "Oh, it's a 50% fib retracement," no, 50% is halfway from the charted move. Just remember that. And I don't mean to be an asshole about that, but I often hear too many times people misrepresenting the 50%. It is not a Fibonacci. It's halfway of whatever you drew. And so it really has no other significance than to you and what you drew, not of anything that is any, consequence to anybody else. So just remember that. In fact, everything here is a result of whatever you drew, but again, 50% is not. So, I don't know, maybe we get a bounce at 38, at the 38 line, 245. It seems like as good a spot as any. You do have a pretty decent band of selling that maybe kind of, dissipates down there. Maybe the sellers get tired there and it does bounce. And then you get this upward movement, right? This is a pretty common pattern. I see a lot of the schlockos out there selling services trade, right? You get the rise up, it comes down, finds support, it rallies, right? And remember the Elliott wave or whatever? Whatever. Who knows? I never was a student of any of that garbage, right? I always like price and volume. Sorry. It's just, that stuff all seemed too fucking complicated for my simple mind. I can understand price and volume. I can understand that, hey, the last time it came down, there was a lot of buyers. Last time it came down, there was more sellers than buyers. Like, I can understand that. My simple mind is very simple, and I can like comprehend that, and that makes sense to me. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on with Tesla. Problem with a lot of these stocks in general is, as we mentioned yesterday, there's no volatility. Tesla at a 21 percentile is actually not that bad, considering like most of these other big stocks. Like, let's just put a couple up there. Like, let's put Meta. Meta's at a 10 IV rank. Apple has like literally none, 18. Now, I should say that volatility has moved into these stocks over the last 24 hours as of yesterday. Because a lot of these were in the single digits. But even still, is it Google or Google? Googs. I don't know. I usually use Googs. But a lot of the volatility is now in double digits in here. And so we could be getting into a spot, like even NVIDIA. We looked at NVIDIA yesterday. This was single digits. Now it's up to 13. And this is exactly why I was afraid and saying, like, not afraid, but at least trying to warn everyone, saying, look, be careful about selling premium in here. When you have this volatility that's this low in these stocks, you're going to get run over. Now, if you play a longer game, like you go out to December, November, right, you can kind of beat the odds a little bit by doing that, by going out in time, because obviously you're giving yourself a little more time to be right. But if you're going to be doing stuff that's, I'm going to say under 40 days, there's really nothing under 40 days other than the weeklies here and the October. But needless to say, just be careful, because as volatility expands, those option premiums are going to explode and you're short, and that's not good. That's not a good place to be. So just be aware of that. And that's why I have not been selling volatility in a lot of these stocks. A lot of the strategy I've been sticking to is that calendar spread. And the reason I like the calendar spread specifically is that you can kind of give yourself a little bit of leeway and flexibility with the calendar spread, because you're short that front month. And if it starts to go against you, you can roll that contract, right? Where you can roll it up, you can roll it down, you can roll it out in time. You can roll it out past December, right? If you want to. So it does give you a lot more flexibility. You ruin your profit or your rate of return of profit by doing a calendar spread, but you increase your likelihood of being in a good trade or a profitable trade, not just the first one, but the second, third, and fourth, like looking down the pipe in time of like looking at more than just a one trade, right? When you do a calendar spread, you always need to be looking 2 or 3 trades ahead. Like, hey, look, if I was going to do Tesla here, most likely do like a 250. Like, again, I like to stick around that 60. I'd probably do like a 250 calendar spread, and it'd probably be Dece Nove. The 250 calendar spread is going to run you about $4.05. Now, the flexibility here is that you can see volatility is a little higher in the November, so I'm kind of selling short-term volatility, and I'm buying a little bit of insurance on that by going out to December. I can roll this, right? I could roll this in November anywhere I want. Doesn't matter, depending on where things go, and I could actually flip this trade from a delta neutral trade to a delta negative trade if I rolled it down. And if I rolled it up, I could do the same. If I want to roll it to December, I can do everything but the 250. So I could roll it to a 245. I could roll it to a 255. So you see the amount of flexibility in these. And although if you looked at it on paper and looked at the curve, it's not extremely great proposition most times with how they work, right? So downside protection on this one, it's all you down to 190. So I mean, to me, that's not a bad trade. Now it's going to cost me $400, but I don't really see that as being. And again, if you're going to play Tesla to the upside for a bounce, I mean, seeing that it is, I mean, can't say that this looks entirely bearish at all, in my opinion. I mean, it looks like this is held up pretty well. All right, so that is the size of that. That's really all I'm going to go over. And then FedEx, we did do the Iron Condor. I didn't see, it looks like it gapped up. Where did it go? It probably blew me out. It's at 263. Let's look at our positions. Here's FedEx. We are at the 270. So this one is going to come. This one's probably not going to come in today, to be honest. It probably won't. It won't come in because, look, it's like $7 below, and we still have 29 days here. We will get a little volatility collapse, but I probably won't sell this today. I probably just let this kind of float through a few more days and see if it comes back in. But we did do that Iron Condor, and so we're at 270. So it has to basically break new highs, FedEx, and then come down to under 230, right? Were we at 230, 270 was what we did? Yeah, 230, 270. So I think we're in pretty good shape because it didn't blow out, didn't blow up, and that's kind of what you want to see. And I don't think is there earnings. There was some earnings today, I think. Let's just look real quick. And look, here's my positions. Look, full disclosure. Look, I got losses. I got this loss in Microsoft. I've been rolling this piece of shit forever. I was down almost $1,000 in this trade when I first did it, and I've managed it down to losing 500, which to me is a win. I told you I'm long soybeans. I'm getting beat up there. And I have some other small positions as well. And I do have TLT. And you can see I trade small. Like I like my stuff outside of these two. Everything else is small, man. I don't mess around. I don't. To me, it's like, trade small. Not just trade small, but win big, lose small, win big. And you can see there's my fill on FedEx. So anyway, let's take a look at what the earnings are. I don't think there was much. I think it was like Costco, and none of them were any good. In fact, I think they all sucked. And then actually, I think they're next week. Yeah, we weren't doing Darden. I wasn't doing Darden. That never was anything good. I'm not doing these. These all suck. And Costco's next week. So we'll do Costco next week. And we also have Micron next week. We'll probably do that one. Nike as well next week. So next week there are a couple. I mean, CCL, I don't know if I'm going to do anything. I don't know. This is another one where it's like, I don't. What do you do with that thing? It's $14. But there is some decent earnings for next week. So that's it. What did I do? 34 minutes, man. Pretty good. Pretty good. getting this down. So that's all I got. So a couple trades in Tesla, maybe a calendar spread. Play it to the upside. Kind of buy a little insurance too for yourself, that if it does go down, you have a little bit of flexibility. Talked about some futures trades, and that's it. So good luck today. Have a good one, and I will be